Well, welcome again to everyone for this second session of the 2015 AgrAbility Virtual National Training Workshop. I'm Paul Jones, for those who don't happen to know who I am, managing the national project here at Purdue. And our subject for this afternoon's webinar is AgrAbility and related programs. Our presenter is, of course, our national program leader, Aida Balsano, and we will be having her do the main section of the presentation. As soon as I do a few basic instructions for those who may not have heard this before. Any issues with your audio, you can check the audio menu at the top of your screen and adjust your settings there. We do ask that you not activate your camera. So if you look at the participant list and see your name and there's a camera icon to the right of your name, we would ask that you click on that to deactivate the camera so that we don't have issues with bandwidth or any other problems of that nature. If you need closed captions, those are available on the right side also. If you don't happen to see that choice, you can go to the top of your screen on the upper right and click on closed captions to select that possibility, or the drop down that's on the farthest part of the right, the top. You can also expand or contract any of those windows. You can eliminate them if you don't need them with the X that's on the far right. And you can also expand or contract the entire right side column by dragging on the border between that and the presentation. Any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type those into the chat window. And if you go to the chat window, you need to expand that with the arrow on the left side, and it should say Send To and give you a drop-down box, and you need to select the choice of everyone, which should be your only choice, but you do need to make sure that that is chosen, and then click on the Send icon in order to send that question out. Also, if you would like to ask your question verbally, we can do that during the question and answer period. Also, just use the raise hand icon to the far right of your name on the participant list, and we will plan to unmute your device. We'll be doing our poll questions at the end as usual, and also give you an opportunity to share any comments that you would like to add. We are recording this session, and it will be archived in the normal place on our website, which is listed on your screen there. If you have any technical issues, please try to use the chat window, and if that's not available, we will be monitoring the AgrAbility at agrability.org email address. If you're having any problems with the audio continuing but the slides not advancing, make sure your computer is awake by moving the mouse or hitting Enter. If we're disconnected with our presenter, please hang on and we will reconnect. And if you are disconnected as a participant, please just log in again. Since this is an AgrAbility session, explicitly, most of you probably know what AgrAbility is. For those that don't, we are sponsored by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We partner with nonprofit organizations, and you can see ours listed there. And as usual, please visit our website at agrability.org if you would like more information about anything related to AgrAbility. Okay, at this time, I'm going to pass the ball to Aida Balsano, and she will fill us in on anything new that's going on with AgrAbility and give us a preview of some of the other projects that are going on.
Thank you, Paul. Can you just let me know if you hear me okay?
We can hear you as loud as possible. That would be great. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me with you today. I bring you greetings from the United States Department of Agriculture, National Institute of Food and Agriculture. My name is Aida Balsano, and I'm a national program leader here at NIFA. I provide oversight and leadership for the AgrAbility program as well as for Youth Farm Safety Education Certification Program. I'm with the Division of Family Consumer Sciences at the Institute of Youth, Family, and Community within NIFA. It's good to be with you all today. I bring you greetings as well from my other two team members that are on with me on AgrAbility. Dr. Dennis Abodagi, he's a national program leader with the Division of Agricultural Systems. He serves on the AgrAbility program as a secondary NPL with a special focus on 1890s land grant universities. Within NIFA, he also provides leadership for small farm research and extension program development. He is on the team of the Beginning Farmers and Ranchers Development Program as well, so you'll probably hear his name on that as well. Bring you greetings as well from Leland Dixon, who serves as a program specialist on our AgrAbility project. She is also with the Division of Agricultural Systems, and as a program specialist provides support for a lot of other competitive programs. In this case, when it comes to farm safety, she's with us on AgrAbility and youth farm safety as well. And last but not the least, you have greetings from Dr. Caroline Krokel, who is the Division Director of the Family Consumer Sciences here at NIFA, and then as well Brad Rain, Division Director of Division of Agricultural Systems. Whenever I have a chance, I like to point to folks that oversight for the AgrAbility program and youth farm safety actually sits with two institutes within NIFA. That's what makes us a bit unique and allows us to actually bring to the table both agricultural systems, networks, and knowledge, as well as human and social sciences knowledge into what we do. While I am with the Institute of Youth, Family, and Community, Dr. Abodagi and then Leland Dixon are with the Institute of Food Production and Sustainability, but we work jointly on supporting the AgrAbility program. So I want to take a little bit of time first to talk to you about farm safety at NIFA, some of the initiatives, programs that we have going on here, to give you a little bit more of a sense of just the scope of what we do when it comes to farm safety. Farm safety at NIFA, farm safety work has been integrated into a number of competitive programs that we have here. They all, in their different ways, identify and address agricultural safety and health challenges and seek to develop solutions and ensure positive outcomes for farmers, ranchers, and farming families. The scale and diversity of NIFA's efforts in these areas, I believe, is significant, and here is a quick review of some of those efforts, most of them undertaken in 2015, but I'll reach a little bit back before 2015 as well to give you a bit more of a picture. I'll start with our two extension-focused programs, AgrAbility and Youth Farm Safety. In fiscal year 2015, AgrAbility was supported at $4.1 million. We were able to provide support for 17 state AgrAbility projects, as well as to support a continuation of our National AgrAbility project, currently located at Purdue University. The team is located there. And then we were also able to provide support for 3 new state AgrAbility projects. SRAPs received up to about $189,000. NAB received more than it usually does per year. In 2015, it was $521,457. This was one-time additional increase in awards that we were able to provide. And here at the bottom of the page, you have a link to a more detailed report on our awardees. On the National AgrAbility Project's website, you can go and see the interactive map that they have there. I believe now, since Illinois has joined us as a SRAP state, we need to have Illinois highlighted there in yellow as well. But the map allows you to click on any one of these states to see who your contacts are for the AgrAbility projects if you don't know them already. The yellow ones are state or regional projects, light gray are affiliated projects, and then in dark gray are states where we currently do not have AgrAbility projects. Next program is Youth Farm Safety Education and Certification. I just want to give you a quick overview of what we've been able to do over the last 3 years. NIFA currently funds and supports Safety in Agriculture for Youth project. This is a multi-institution project that started initially as a 2-year project. It was funded at $300,000 per year for fiscal year 13 and 14, and then in 2015 we were able to support it at a lower level, but still continue the support for SAY. SAY has very specific charge to develop a national strategy to enhance awareness, access, and use of farm safety materials, to build upon current standards and curricula in the area of youth farm safety, to also determine and look for alignment of safety resources to national educational standards, and to develop a national clearinghouse for ag safety and health curricula for youth. On eExtension website, you can actually get access to Safety in Agriculture for Youth latest report, 2015 report. They've made huge strides. Clearinghouse is up and running and doing well. Through this project, they have also been able to provide an OSHA 10-hour training for youth, and about 5,000 youth in over 40 actually states have already signed up or taken the training, and over 80% of those youth are 18 or younger. So this project is really allowing us to, in a good way, address farm safety for youth. As I said, this is a multi-state project. Penn State is the lead institution, but Utah State University, the Ohio State, University of Kentucky are there as well as Career Safe. And one thing that has really benefited to this particular project is having a national steering committee similar to what National AgrAbility Project has as well. And on the committee, we have a variety of agencies, federal, non-federal agencies, and partners working together with us on defining what the next steps should be for youth farm safety education certification. The steering committee meets about twice a year here in Washington, D.C., and then after those meetings, they provide recommendations to NIFA, both in the area of some possible programmatic updates, advice, but then also in regards to specific needs and challenges that this area of farm safety faces. Beginning Farmers and Ranchers Development Program, I hope most of you are probably familiar with as well. Congress added farm safety to the list of priority topics for beginning farmers and ranchers in the 2014 Agricultural Act, and that has been reflected in the request for applications that have come out of this program in the past couple of years. BFRDP grants gives grants to collaborative networks or partnership of organizations, most of which are led by land grants and cooperative extension or nonprofit organizations, or some combination of those two agencies, groups working together. The University of Minnesota Center for Farm Financial Management received an award in 2014, and they were charged to develop and run the National BFRDP Clearinghouse, which includes a digital library for farmers and for BFRDP educators and service providers. And as part of that, farmanswer.org has been developed. It had a soft launch just recently to BFRDP grantees, but already at this stage, this website has over 140 items that relate or address farm safety directly, and I encourage you to check it out. Even though farm safety wasn't specifically named by Congress until 2014, NIFA was able, through BFRDP, to support some of the work in farm safety area. Perhaps one of the most notable is project that was led by Penn State University. The project developed a comprehensive manual on farm safety for beginning farmers and ranchers. This manual assists farm owners and managers in developing health and safety management plans for their operations, agricultural operations. But what's also equally important is that the manual outlines very clearly reasons for why safety and health plans should be in existence and why beginning farmers and ranchers need to think about it. NIFA provides programmatic oversight also for a great number of multi-state research and extension groups. One of them that's focused in its work on farm safety is NSERA 197, Agricultural Safety and Health Research and Extension Group. This group was initiated in 2000. It has a pretty broad member group, very strong member group. They as well meet here at NIFA every year, and we're pleased to host them. It allows us also a chance to see what they're currently working on and then also how we might best support them. They have developed and are leading national land-grant research and extension agenda for agricultural safety and health, and have made significant contributions in the area of agricultural equipment on public roads and agricultural confined spaces agenda. This particular multi-state group received 2014 North Central Region Award for excellence for the work that they're doing. And at the bottom of the page, you see there's a web link through NIMS that you can access that has more detail about their work and their objectives and goals. Another work that I want to bring to your attention is National Robotics Initiative. As agriculture transforms and new production processes emerge, NIFA is also really well positioned to identify and to address agricultural safety and health challenges through new technologies and as well through partnerships that NIFA can form around those technologies and the needs. And National Robotics Initiative, which was initiated in 2012, is this collaboration, really successful collaboration between NSF and NIFA. And here you see a number of programs that have been actually supported, projects that have been supported through this initiative that address that area of technology in agriculture, and then also how it interfaces with humans. The goal of the initiative is to use accelerate the use of development, to accelerate the development and the use of robotics that work besides or cooperatively with people, and we see this more and more in agriculture as well. But at the same time, while that's going on, the focus has to be on ensuring safety of the workers while these technologies are being tested and being put in place. The initiative is supported by a number of agencies, so it's not just NSF and NIFA, but also by NASA, NIH, and others. Another example of NIFA's involvement and support of farm safety can be seen in agricultural systems and technology projects. One that I'm showing here is an innovative systems to improve environment and productivity of aviary hen housing. This particular project addresses engineering, products, and processes, and among other things, very importantly, it looks at improving indoor air quality, both for increased health of the hens, but equally importantly of the workers and worker welfare in this line of work. Ultimately, the idea is that this kind of work, supporting this work, will aid ag producers to achieving greater farmer welfare as well as more environmentally friendly production systems. NIFA also has a specialty crop research initiative, or SCRI. which supports the specialty crop industry by developing and disseminating science-based tools that address the need of specific crops. The efforts improve, for example, production efficiency, handling and processing, productivity and profitability over the long term, and this includes and addresses also worker welfare and health. Again, there's a web link too if you're looking for, interested in finding more about specialty crop research initiatives. And last but not least, I wanted to mention to you small business innovative research. Some 30% of U.S. farm operators are women, and unknown and specified number of them are farm wives or women who work directly on farms and provide assistance on farms. And women have typically had to use agricultural tools and equipment that's not well suited for their frames or for their physical strength and such. And so NIFA, through Small Business Innovative Research, or ASBIR, has been able to provide support for projects that address needs of women farmers. And here I have listed one such project, research and development of ergonomic tools and equipment for women livestock farmers. This is a project run by Greenhorn Tools. The same grant recipient has actually done some similar work through NIFA funding in the past. They have demonstrated via prior ASBIR grant the tools ergonomically designed for women, increase productivity, but also reduce injury risk, and can be and are commercially viable. So let's look and see briefly what we have coming up in 2016. There are a few things that I wanted to share with you in terms of next few months, what we're looking at. I also bring up, as you will see, not only a couple of grant opportunities that are coming up, one of them being AgrAbility, of course, but also what are some of the current initiatives or at the USDA level or NIFA level that I'd like to draw your attention to. There's one of them that's also an initiative of cooperative extension that I think you might want to think about linking your projects to and seeing if you can use these to create greater partnerships or networks for the work that you're doing, to give more visibility to your work, as well as to inform your work and your writing about what it is that you do, so to give it greater context. So let's start. Fiscal year 2016 federal budget. Fiscal year 2016 for us started on October 1st of 2015, and federal government is currently operating under a continuing resolution. Rather than passing new appropriations bill by the end of, by 30th of September of 2015, Congress passed and President Obama signed a continuing resolution which extends until the December 11th, so that's coming up soon. And for the duration of the continuing resolution, funding levels were set at nearly the same levels as what we had in fiscal year 2015, with about 0.2% cut across all agencies. Hopefully by December 11th or on December 11th, we will get final budget approved and pushed forward. Here I've listed for you President's proposed fiscal year 16 total discretionary and mandatory funding, the request and farm safety, which is actually the AgrAbility Program, and then also youth farm safety. They're listed as one funding line, and they're listed at the same level they were listed at in fiscal year 2015, so it's $4.6 million. For the AgrAbility Program in fiscal year 2016, what we have coming up, we just recently, about a week ago or so, we held a listening session for the AgrAbility Program. We have a request for applications coming up. and that one will be focused on the National AgrAbility Project only. We don't have any of our current state AgrAbility projects ending, so we will not be taking on new SRAPs in 2016. But currently, our current NAP is in its final 4th year, and so we are recompeting it, and you will see later this winter an RFA coming out, and I'll communicate that to this group through the AgrAbility listservs when that RFA is released. I do want to remind you that at any point, either before the RFA or later, you are encouraged to submit your input, feedback about the program or about National AgrAbility Project specifically, or to address challenges or needs that you see at the state level for this program. So I encourage you to do that. You can do so by writing to policy@nifa.usda.gov, or you are always welcome to write to me or to Dennis Abadagi directly to our email. I do also want to give a shout out to those of you who might be interested in serving on the AgrAbility panel to reach out to us and let us know. Beginning Farmers and Ranchers Development Program is, for those of you who might not remember or know, I do want to remind you that Beginning Farmers and Ranchers Development Program supports BFRDP applicants partnering with AgrAbility on its projects. So this program is of particular interest to those of us working with AgrAbility. Their fiscal year 2016 RFA was released. Deadline for applications for BFRDP projects is late January 2016. You have a link here to more information about the program and about resources if you're interested. I do want to highlight that tomorrow, December 2nd, between 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern Time, BFRDP team is holding a grant applicant webinar where you can get a lot of information about the most recent RFA and application requirements. And we have, during that webinar, we'll address as well that connection between BFRDP projects and the AgrAbility program. So if you have time, if you're available and interested, I encourage you to log into the webinar. Last year I shared with you Rural America at a Glance report that USDA puts out. Just this past month in November, USDA issued a new 2015 edition of the report. Again, I encourage you to look at this report and then see how the work that you do with farmers, ranchers, and farming families in the area of rural health and farm safety, how it can be connected to what USDA is publishing and highlighting in the area of rural, as far as rural America goes. As I said, this most recent report was just released in November, and it highlights the most recent indicators of social and economic conditions in rural areas. It focuses on U.S. rural economy, including employment, population, poverty trends, and educational attainment trends as well. And so as you talk about your respective state programs, it's good to link those up to what's happening in rural communities across the United States. I also want to bring to your attention, in case you are not familiar with newfarmers.usda.gov website. It was launched last year, but it provides one-stop shop for beginning farmers to learn more about accessing USDA services that can help them in their operations. Just about a week ago, USDA held an interactive webinar about this website, and they're encouraging folks to visit the website see what works for you and where still the gaps might be in terms of information presented. Again, I encourage you to check it out and also to share it with your clients and with your partners. The website has in-depth information for new farmers and ranchers, including how to increase access to land and capital, how to build new market opportunities, to participate in conservation opportunities, how to select and use the right risk management tools, and how to access USDA education and technical support programs. Excuse me. All of these topics have been actually identified and brought up as top priorities by new and beginning farmers and ranchers. AgrAbility Program is featured on this website. You will find it under New Farmers tag, and within that tag there's Education and Assistance, actually a link that you can go to, and you'll find AgrAbility listed there. I do encourage you, as I said, to check out the website. There might be other actually places within this website where you think that maybe AgrAbility would be more appropriate to be placed as well and more visible. Again, it's for new farmers, for women in ag. It addresses young farmers' needs, veterans' needs, and farms in transition. And it also has, here on the far right, you'll see it has Discovery tool. If you click on the Discovery tool, you can actually personalize your search. You can indicate which state or region you're in and what your needs are. And so if a client goes in there and types in that they're a farmer, they're a veteran, that they have disability, then the gamut of resources that the website puts together for them will, in that case, also include AgrAbility program and resources that one can tap into through AgrAbility. Last year and this time again, I want to give a shout out again to regional rural development centers, to encourage you to think about how you might interface with them and partner with them. Centers have done great work in facilitating development of networks within regions and nationally. They provide expertise to stakeholder groups such as different agricultural clusters or state commodity groups. They also do that, for example, recently with our Rural Health and Safety Education Grants Program. We actually have our grantees directly work with regional centers on thinking through some of their evaluation processes, as well as thinking through how to create greater visibility for the projects that these grantees will be implementing over the course of the next 2 years. It also allows regional rural development centers to stay abreast of what's happening in the area of rural health and safety, and for them to also brainstorm together with you on how to capitalize on what's already out there and how to make even greater connections. So please check them out, reach out to them if you have not already had a chance. If this group feels that it would be beneficial to you that we hold a separate webinar where we have our DC folks talk to you about their work, we can definitely do so. Visit their website. They already also have a lot of resources there as well, and a lot of really good recorded webinars about their work. I'd also like to bring to your attention as well Colorado Extension's National Framework for Health and Wellness. I touched on this last year. I see this particular network as allowing us to think about farm safety within the context of health and wellness. I think AgrAbility should be part of this discussion, both at the level of policies, but also at the programmatic level. The Colorado Extension's National Framework for Health and Wellness was approved in March of last year by ECOP, and you have a link here to their full report. Just recently, in June of this year, there was a very good short article in the Journal of Extension published on strategic directions for extension health and wellness programs. And I think that this particular framework allows you not only to think about your current work within that context, more within the context of human and social development, but also brings you to the table with other folks and partners who are thinking about human health and wealth within the context of agriculture and agricultural production, but might not necessarily look at it through your prism or through your work. The task force has also noted that by aligning cooperative extension with the national prevention strategy, we can accomplish a mutually beneficial engagement of both public and private partners and have a national strategic direction that can both increase awareness of the value of prevention across multiple sectors, farm safety and agricultural production being one of them, of the value of prevention across multiple sectors, and further support a comprehensive approach to prevent illness and disease by promoting health and wellness, and in this case, safety as well. So do check it out, and if you would like to have more conversations with me about this particular framework, I would be more than glad to talk more about it. The framework currently has several teams, about 5 or 6 teams, who are looking at different components of the framework, such as youth development or sustainability and such. And so what the teams are doing is also starting to look at what would be some common indicators that we could all come around and for future needs for the cooperative extension and land grants universities to start thinking about how they might report along those common indicators. Regional rural development centers are also informed about this not communication, but about and well knowledgeable about this framework as well. And what we're trying to do is also to link them in as well. The regional centers have already made great important strides in the area of defining common indicators in the area of community economic development, and are really interested in assisting us in seeing how similar things can be done in the area of health and wellness. So if you're interested in receiving more information or knowing who different leads are on this subgroups that are now being formed to look at common indicators for health and wellness, let me know. Over the past few years, you have seen and heard NIFA reach out to you with requests for more data, more information about how different projects are doing, what kind of impacts we have out there. NIFA is committed to increasing transparency, but also is trying to make technical advances to ensure the data is easily accessible. And if you haven't had a chance to check out NIFA Data Gateway, I encourage you to do so. This is also NIFA's way of letting know its stakeholders. It's part of the way of letting you know that data is important to us, and here is what we are as an institute able to do by making data that we have available to you. The Data Gateway provides you with the ability to filter and export data. It provides easy access to data and matrices on how the agency disseminates its funding and what the funding is being used for. You can also do searches by congressional districts as well to see how much money has gone to which district, and then you can drill down even more to see what specific projects we have in different districts. So I think this is important because it elevates also NIFA's importance, an emphasis that NIFA puts on data and on capturing impacts. And down the road, NIFA is looking at developing ways to provide even more capacity for us and for users to share their existing data. And NIFA is looking at doing some more refinements to this data gateway. Check it out and see how you might best be able to use it to support your work AgrAbility as well. Along with that, NIFA currently, well, for a while now, we have an initiative, Share Your Science initiative, and we are encouraging all of our grantees to partner with NIFA to highlight your accomplishments. You'll see on the NIFA front webpage this picture of NIFA Impact Share Your Science. For those of us who are more perhaps involved in the extension and outreach work, this applies to you as well. Of course, it is all science, but I would like to encourage you to think about it in terms of sharing your results. So what is going on with your AgrAbility project? What kind of strides have you been able to make or networks to form? And let us know what's going on, and then NIFA, through its different ways, reports and such, can communicate it to others within USDA and then outside of the USDA. So partner with us to highlight your accomplishments and to give you more visibility for the work you're doing. Also, another way to share your work with us is through social media links. NIFA has a Twitter account. You can find us on YouTube. NIFA and USDA both have blog accounts as well. NIFA does not have its own Facebook account, but we do promote our work and inform the public through USDA's Facebook account. So there are many ways to link to us and to highlight your work and to get your messages to us. If you have workshops, meetings going on, snap a picture, send it to us on Twitter, send us a few words, and let us promote it for you further. And then I invite you to stay connected with me. If you need more information about what we're doing in the area of farm safety, let me know. I'll be more than glad to share it with you. If you have questions about AgrAbility or our youth farm safety education certification program, goes the same for that as well. You have my email address here and my phone number, and I'd be more than glad to speak with you. So at this point, if there are any questions, I'm more than glad to answer questions folks might have.
Thanks very much, Ada. And Cliff will be collecting any questions that were in the chat window. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and do our poll questions. Okay, our first poll question asks about your affiliation. And I know that we've got several people out there that are not directly involved with AgrAbility projects. So this is actually a relevant question. I'll give you a couple more seconds on that one. All right. Thank you for your assistance. Also remember to hit the submit button on your poll answers. Sometimes we just click on the radio button and don't hit submit, and it doesn't get recorded. So, all right. So you can see our results there. Our next question asks about the information that was shared today. if you could tell us if you found it to be valuable and met your expectations. Again, we will allow you to ask your questions verbally, also during the question and answer period when we're finished with our polls. So if you would raise your hand during that time, we will allow you to activate your microphone. We'll close this poll and share the results. By the way, the bottom choice is a no answer, so if you see a lot of grayed out area down on the farthest, that is simply because people chose not to answer. Sometimes it's kind of hard to make out the different choices. Okay. The next question we'll ask about our technology. If you could tell us if it worked well for you. Appreciate that. If you had any specific problems today, please let us know in the chat window, and we will try to remedy those as much as we can. This new system does allow us to have some options on the audio, so I know that may be a little bit different than what you're used to. I'll close that poll and broadcast the results. Our final question for this part will be in terms of whether you would attend another session based on today's session. As soon as I save my results from that one. The polling is a little different on this system too, so I'm sorry it takes a little bit longer. So if you could respond to that question based on today's session, would you attend another session in this series? Again, don't forget to hit the submit button. And I will close that poll. And show you the results. Okay. At this point, I'm going to turn things over to Cliff Raz, who is our IT specialist, and he will be moderating the question and answer period. Again, feel free to use the raise hand icon if you want to ask a question verbally. And also after question and answer is over, I will be opening a final poll that will allow you to just simply make comments if you have additional comments that you would like to make about the session today. So I will pass the ball to Cliff Raz, make him the presenter.
Paul. And Ada is also going to unmute her audio so she can answer questions.
Sure, I'm here.
Okay. So if anyone is having any difficulty with with sending a chat, just go and make sure that you select everyone in the drop-down and then click in the box underneath and type there. Or you can raise your hand. If you don't see the chat area, click the chat in the upper right of Cisco WebEx so that it will make it open for you. So our first question for Ada is the presentation available? And it was being recorded, so it will be available in the National AgrAbility website archive as we do with all webinars. The next question, thank you for the presentation. Did I hear that correctly, that there will be no applications for new states to be added to AgrAbility for 2016? Washington State was interested in being added.
That's correct. So we do not have sufficient funds to take on another state project. As I said, this year we had a bit of an increase to funding that state projects received. We're looking at keeping everyone at about $180,000, and that seems per year, and that seems to be an amount that allows folks to really do more of a quality work. If we take on another SREP, the funding would have to be then reduced across the board. What I would suggest to Washington State is to consider being on our 2016 panel. If you have somebody who would like to sit on the panel and see how the panel works, that's a really nice way of seeing actually how proposals are reviewed. Even though this would be a National AgrAbility Project proposal, I think it still might benefit the team. We're looking at having openings for new SREPs in 2017, as some of us current SREPs at that point will be in their final year of the 4-year cycle funding.
The next question, Ada, I work for Nebraska AgrAbility. I have now seen 2 spinal cord injuries since starting last January. Is there specialized information I can give to them now to continue to farm and ranch safely with their spinal cord injury?
So we don't have here at NIFA what you probably need in terms of specialized information. What I would do is I can check to see what we have through BFRDP and through NAP, of course, through National AgrAbility Project and the website. And then also I would advise that you actually use this group and you use the AgrAbility staff to push out this question to them and to see what people might have, what's existing already out there. What I can do is see what here at NIFA, but it would most likely be in a different federal agency, what we might have available, and then share that with you.
Okay, we have Don wanted to ask a question. He had his hand raised. Don, if you want to raise your hand again, I will go ahead and enable your mic, or you can go ahead and type it if you'd like. Our next question. Okay, I will go ahead and enable your mic.
So, Ada, this is John McMorrin, and my question was already answered in regards to adding Washington State, but I would like to add that I'd really like to serve on that committee that you spoke about. So, if you could add me.
Okay, so you're talking about the grants panel?
Yes, that would be fabulous.
Okay, so if you can just send me an email so I have that on record, and then what we do is we have to wait for the applications. Once the RFA goes out, we have to wait for applications to come in, and then we have to match panels to what we have received. As long as there's no conflict of interest and such, we can consider having you on the panel. But sending that email to me would be the first step if you wouldn't mind doing so.
Fabulous. And what's your email again?
It's Balsano, ABLASANO @NIFA, NIFA.USDA.gov.
Great. I'll send you that right away. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. We had one last question. And so unless any other questions come in, this will be the final question. Is the NIFA impact report different from the RE report that we submit annually? And does NIFA use the information we put into the report, or should we use a different method?
Okay. So they're different, and I'll tell you in which way. Report is something that we go through. Well, I go to it and I review to see what's the status of current projects and how are different states doing. But also across NIFA, we'll go to report and comb it, so to say, to look for different stories and impacts from different grants programs that we have. NIFA Impacts is actually quicker way for you to bring up to more to the surface of what you might be having going on currently, recently, or if you have new results about your program that you might want to highlight and just bring to our attention. So if you can think of, we sit on this end, and I might push something forward that comes across my table because I have reviewed it, but I might not know necessarily what has happened in the last month or two that you had going on in your state that you think was significant for you and for the program, and you want to share that with us. So it's kind of like NIFA Impacts report, and sending something to NIFA Impacts is bringing something that otherwise might possibly be buried, bringing it up to the surface for us to look at.
Okay, so there have been no other questions, so thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Paul.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Aida, for that excellent presentation. Any further questions that anyone would like to ask verbally? Okay, we hope you'll consider joining us for other sessions in this series. By the way, I did add Aida's email address into the chat window. If you want to open that and you want to email her, that would be right there for you to copy. Our first session tomorrow morning is on PTSD and the disabilities of the post-9/11 veterans. Captain Guy Zirk from the Marine Corps Wounded Warrior Regiment will be presenting that. Tomorrow afternoon at 3, Selecting a Wheelchair for Agricultural Use from Dee Jepson and Brittany Cowgill from Ohio AgrAbility. Both of those look like it'll be good sessions. Thursday morning, Ed Bell is going to be talking. It'll be kind of an open interview. You'll be able to ask questions, and I'll be asking him some questions about secondary injury. Some of you that know Ed may know that he spent several months in the hospital and additional months in rehabilitation this past year because of some issues, and he'll be talking about that and other things as questions are raised. And then finally, on Thursday afternoon at 3, Amber Wolf from the Arthritis Foundation and the National AgrAbility Project, and Ned Stoller from Michigan AgrAbility will be talking about carpal tunnel syndrome and especially application to agricultural work. I do not see any other hands raised right now, so I'm going to open the final poll question that will allow you to make any comments, and otherwise, we will thank you again for your participation and hope you join us again for another presentation.